Jonathan Routh. Jonathan Routh, born John Reginald Surdeval Routh, 1927–2008, co-starred in the British version of the television show Candid Camera 1960–67 and co-starred with Germaine Greer and Kenny Everett in a later attempt at a revival, Nice Time 1968. He published a number of humorous books and also painted for many years. Background: Routh was born on 24 November 1927 in Gosport, Hampshire, the son of a British Army colonel, and spent much of his early childhood in Palestine. He was educated at Uppingham School and Emmanuel College, Cambridge, where he read history. Routh had two sons from his first marriage to the film designer Nandy Hackroth in 1948, had a relationship in 1969 with the wife of Paul Hamlin, and then another with the oil heiress Olga de Turding. He died in Jamaica on 4 June 2008. Television work. Following a success with a British version of Candid Microphone on Radio Luxembourg, Routh started a British version of its television successor Candid Camera around 1961 for ABC TV. Following a long dispute with the American lawyers of Allen Funt as to who held the rights to Candid Camera, Routh moved on to new fields, working with John Burt, later Director General of the BBC, for Granada TV, along with Germaine Greer and Kenny Everett in Nice Time. He also worked in television advertising on spots such as J. Walter Thompson's for Smarties and Kellogg's Corn Flakes, appearing also in some spots himself, for example Newcastle Brown Ale. The British version of Candid Camera returned in 1974, starring Peter Dooley, Arthur Atkins, and Sheila Burnett. In 1976, Routh returned to the pranks, and the show was retitled Jonathan Routh and Candid Camera. Guidebooks created with John Glashan. With John Glashan, Routh created an unusual set of small guidebooks, the Good Lou Guide and the Good Cuppa Guide, both about London, the Guide Porcelain to the Louvre of Paris, and the Better John Guide about New York City. The humor owed much to the apparent seriousness and to the affectionate parody of the connoisseurship of the Good Food Guide, then as now a trove of information on fine eating. The Good Lou Guide. The Good Lou Guide, a compact 50-page booklet subtitled Where to Go in London, written with Brigid Segrave and conveniently illustrated by John Glashan, was the first of the series, published in London by Woolf in 1965. A note on the copyright page sets the tone. This is an impartial guide. Our visits to Lou's have been anonymous. We have not declared ourselves, even after making use of the establishment's facilities. Nor have we at any time accepted hospitality, but paid cash for all chargeable facilities we have used. Lou's are rated by the application of stars, 3-star establishments being worth traveling out of your way to experience. The illustrations are numerous as well as convenient, with Glashan's characters typically bearded men experiencing various adventures and misadventures. In the completely new and revised edition of 1968, more is included, and 10 establishments earn a new award, the Good Lou Royal Flush, Wood Lou Royal Flush, Wood Lou Royal Flush, Wood Lou Royal Flush, Royal Flush, Royal Flush, Royal Flush. 2 decades later, Routh but not Glashan would re-examine this issue with the initial Good Lou Guide, on which see below. The Good Cuppa Guide. The Good Cuppa Guide, Where to Have Tea in London, published in 1966, was blended by Routh and milked and sugared by Glashan. The format and charm and, in its day, usefulness are those of the Good Lou Guide. Providers of cuppas are rated with a maximum of 5 stars. Guide Porcelain to the Louvre of Paris. Its title echoing that of the Guide Michelin, Guide Porcelain to the Louvre of Paris 1966, was similar to the London Guide but additionally provided convenient phrases for the nervous British tourist. An example: Donnez-moi les ordres simples pour atteindre le pissoir le plus prise d'ici et, à s'il vous plaît, sans les gesticulations sauvages et tumultueuses, i.e. please direct me to the nearest loo in simple terms and without waving your hands in too dangerous a manner. A French translation also appeared, Guide Porcelain des Luxe de Paris Editions de la Jeune Parc, 1967. The Better John Guide. Unlike the 3 and 6penny 3s sixth, 17 1/2p booklets described above, the Better John Guide, Where to Go in New York, New York, Putnam 1966 was a $2.50 hardback. Written with Serena Stewart, it had graffiti by Glashan, largely recycled from the convenient illustrations of the Good Loo Guide. Some of the text was recycled too, understandably so, as neither work was likely to have been known in the other city. Art. Routh also painted for many years, concentrating on depicting the Queen Victoria of his imagination and nuns, as he claimed to be unable to paint faces, arms, or legs. He exhibited regularly in Jamaica, Italy, and the United States as of early 2008. His paintings were also on display in what had been his favorite restaurant, San Lorenzo in Beauchamp Place, London. In March 2008, Routh issued limited editions of his original paintings through Kishon Gallery. Jonathan Routh has been represented by Kishon Gallery, LLC, for over 35 years. Routh's paintings of nuns and Queen Victoria were turned into a number of books. Jamaica Holiday, The Secret Life of Queen Victoria. London, Harmony Hall, 1984. Originally featured in The Secret Life of Queen Victoria. Her Majesty's Missing Diaries. London, Sidgwick and Jackson Limited, 1979. The Nuns Go to Africa. London, Methuen, 1971. The Nuns Go to Penguin Island. London, Methuen, 1971. The Nuns Go East. London, Methuen, 1972. The Nuns Go West. London, Methuen, 1972. Other books by Routh. The Little Men in My Life. London, Barry, 1953. Reissued in 1962 as an exhibition of myself. Captain Darcy's Filthy Picture Book. London, Wolf, 1967. Dr. Crocker's Exercise Book. London, Wolf, 1967. The Hangover Book, Prevention, Preparation, Treatment, and Cure. London, Wolf, 1967. So You Think You've Got Problems, A Book of Disasters. London, Wolf, 1967. Routh's Weekend Guide. London, Anthony Blonde, 1969. Leonardo's Kitchen Notebooks with Sherlock Routh. London, Collins, 1987. Jonathan Routh's Initial Good Loo Guide, Where to Go in London. London, Banyan, 1989. ISBN 0-7000, 119-1000, 282-3. Illustrated by Enzo Apicella, this paperback is considerably larger than the earlier work by Routh and Glashan. The odd title derives from the book's sponsorship by Initial Textile Services, a company that serviced loos. Filmography.